Hello, my name is White Wolf. I'm the Alpha Guide and owner of Ways of the Wild Institute here in Vermont. As you can see, it is the depth of winter. It is about 5 below zero right now in January. How many of you out there have heard of the Donner Party or any other individual or group of people who were lost in the wilderness areas of the world in winter and died from starvation or scurvy? Probably quite a few of you have heard these horror stories. What I'm going to introduce to you today is a very simple remedy for that. Right here, as you can see, there doesn't seem to be much food out here this time of year. Not much grows besides the trees, and even they aren't growing. They're in a dormant stage, including the evergreens up here in the north. Besides meat, there's not much else. And if you're unable to hunt, you're going to have a difficult time surviving. However, how many of you have heard the term Adirondack? The Adirondack Mountains in New York? The Adirondack Mountains are just to the west of us here, across Lake Champlain. Right here we're in the Green Mountains. Well, the word Adirondack is a Native American word which means tree eater. That's right, tree eater. Now, many people first say, well, you can't digest trees. All that's on a tree, besides maybe the leaves, is wood. Well, this time of year, that's pretty much what we're looking at, the wood. Yes, you have the evergreen needles, which you can make tea from, but there's nothing else besides the wood of the tree. I'm going to show you today how to harvest the inner bark, which is also called the cambium layer. The natives called it the blood layer of the tree. That is the layer of wood underneath the hard bark and above the hardwood, where the sap flows from the root systems up to the crown of the tree. It's what supports the tree, keeps it alive. Well, the cambium layer on many trees, not all, many trees, is edible. On other trees, it's poisonous. Well, this tree right here, this fallen tree, this is an eastern hemlock tree. Now, yes, hemlock has a bad name for being associated with poison. Well, the hemlock tree is not poisonous, not by any means. The hemlock plant, poison hemlock, water hemlock, those are where the poison comes from, and how hemlock became associated with poison. Socrates drank from the hemlock plant, not the hemlock tree. The hemlock tree is very edible. Now, as you can see, the hemlock tree, this one here, has fallen. It has a split right here, and it's leaning over. It's still alive, but this tree is no longer strong and healthy. This tree is no longer a foundation system for the forest. This tree will succumb to the winter, the ice and the snows. It will fall, it will snap, and it will die, which will then supply the rest of the critters that live out here with ample food supply for the rest of the winter, including me. But right now, I'm going to show you how you harvest the cambium layer, the blood layer of the tree, for consumption. Now, if you're going to be taking bark from the tree, which the cambium layer is the lifeblood of the tree. So if you're going to be harvesting from the tree, remember that these trees are our relations. They are alive. They have as much right to live in this world as we do. The Native American believe, as I believe, all trees have a life of their own. They have their own spirit, their own energies. Now, if you're going to be harvesting food from their bodies, it is the same reverence that you would show when you hunt animals. This tree in particular, because it is fallen, I choose this one to harvest the bark from. I do not go out and choose a tall, strong, healthy tree. This one has given itself to the forest to be used as food, shelter, tools, medicine. And so, in thanks, this is the tree I will harvest from. The other trees are dumping snow on us. The only way that you would harvest from a healthy tree is if you were in an emergency situation and there were no broken or unhealthy trees to harvest from. The first thing we have to do is score the outer bark. The outer bark is useless besides for burning fires. Maybe making some floor material for shelters or some roof material. But it's not edible. So I push the knife in through the outer bark. Now, with a sharp point on the knife, and this doesn't have to be a metal knife, it can be a flint knife, quartz knife, some type of a stone knife. Bone knives also work. But you push the tip all the way through until it hits the hard surface, which is the hardwood underneath. Then you pull the knife down. Making a nice score mark. Do the same thing again. So I have two parallel cuts going lengthwise with the tree. Now I'm going to make a cut to connect the two at the top. Alright, so now I have a little rectangle cut.